guys, welcome to the Northwest Connection. This episode, Matador sit down with us and talk about their evolution, how their sound got harder, leaner and more deliberate with every release. Let's get into it. Hi guys, welcome to the Northwest Connection. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Sure thing. I'm James from Matador. I play guitar and try to sing.
I think you're quite successful at that. Scott from Matador. I play the drums. And I don't sing, but I do live in Australia, which is confusing, given that James is in the UK. But we make it work somehow.
Yeah,
I mean, that was going to be a question for a bit later on, but we'll just go straight in. How does that work then when you're a Brighton-based band with an Australia-based drummer?
well, it gets even more confusing, really, because the band formed in Canada. So Scott and I met both. We were both living in Canada. British, Scott's Australian. We were both there. We met. We put a band together. Bassist Mark is Canadian. He's still in Canada. So we're sort of a 3-continent band, which is even more ridiculous. The 3 of us met, had a really good time. Sadly, it was kind of through COVID, so that kind of quashed. I guess the live aspect. We did get to do a couple of cool shows, but COVID didn't help us. But it did allow us to, because the restrictions weren't quite as harsh in Canada, we were able to keep rehearsing, and we just jammed and wrote a load of music, really kind of like perfected our craft kind of thing. Recorded The Surge, and we were really stoked with it. And then I guess I had me and my wife, we had twins out there, which was not planned. In the middle of a pandemic.
I don't think anyone plans twins though, really, do they? I know I did.
Why would you, man? So we decided going back to the UK and being closer to family would be sensible. And Scott, I think you already had plans to go back to Australia as well.
Yeah, well, it was never really our intention to stay for as long as we did. We ended up living in Canada for 2.5 years, but that was mainly because of COVID. But it was the benefit, the silver lining to it was that we were able to form this band and write The Surge. And and then my visa ran up and we kind of ended up, we had to move back to Australia because that's where we wanted to be long term. And then James and I stayed in touch, and we had a crack at writing music remotely, kind of sending each other ideas back and forth and gradually evolving the music. Like James would send me some riffs. We got an electronic kit set up that I would, with like some really nice quality sample libraries. So you could create some really great quality demos, and we weren't sure if it was going to work initially because we were like, we've never written music remotely where you're not in the same room as the other people.
Yeah, it's a weird, sort of far from ideal way to do it, but...
Yeah, but it was kind of good because it was like, you could just kind of do it in your free time. You could kind of chip away at it. Like, you could just go down, I could just go out to the shed and mess around on any given day for half an hour, work on some riffs and send them over, rather than planning a session where we all have to meet up and our schedules have to line up. And James was super hectic, busy with, 2 babies. So I think it worked for your schedule as well, right? Like you probably wouldn't have been able to do a band.
Yeah, it was kind of, it was actually I think, I needed it. I always need some kind of music going on, but to have been in a fully functioning band at that point would have just been too much. So, not having any... I think the 3 of us, we were all willing to just let the project die because we were all so far apart. But because we tried this remote thing and it worked. We did one song first off, which there'll be a little surprise coming later this year about that one. But it was like, it worked, cool. So we stuck at it, and we spent, because no one was expecting any more music. We didn't feel any pressure to quickly get an album out, so we just took our time with it, and we probably spent a good 2 years on it, and whatever.
Very
stuck.
slow process.
Yeah, but it was, for the most part, it was enjoyable. It would have been nice to get in a room.
Yeah. But it did scratch that creative itch, though, you know.
Yeah.
And we were able to keep writing the music together and take the band to kind of the next level in a way. Yeah. So that's how it worked.
And where did the band name come from? Is there a special meaning behind it, or is it just a word that you picked?
I think, I mean, band names are such a tricky thing. Whenever I've been in a situation like, oh, now we need a name, I hate the process, but
that's why we ask.
Yeah, there was a vague. So I had a project, like a solo project years ago, called Atlas, which was not a particularly original name, but it was the kind of like, Atlas. He had the Greek god. He carried the world on his shoulders. It was kind of a solo thing, and it kind of fit that project. And I don't know, Matador kind of popped into my head. It's like, it's this kind of dude out there doing crazy stuff with balls and red cloths, like all by himself, or by herself. And because actually at the time, so I was in a band in Canada, and that fell apart for whatever reason, and I had a bunch of ideas. So the first Matador EP was pretty much just me getting some ideas out. So that's why the name ended up being what it was. And then, fortunately met Scott, and we were able to then turn it into a real thing, and we found Mark, and that's how it went.
And how did you get into music in the first place?
Well, from my perspective, I guess my dad plays guitar. He was in bands when he was younger, but, just kind of a hobbyist. And I guess when I was about 10 or 11 or something, I started going through his record collection. It was Queen and Beatles and the Stones, Zeppelin, all that kind of excellent dad rock, right?
Premium stuff, yeah.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Yeah, and I remember Scott and I were talking to. We were asked a similar question. I remember hearing Brian May's guitar tone and just being like, "What is that?" It was something else, and. Yeah, I think that was the beginning of it for me, and then it's a long journey to this point. But yeah, that was kind of me.
I didn't come from a musical family. I don't think really anybody else in my family plays music, so it's kind of random. I think I got into it through my mates at school. I dabbled with guitar when I was 8 or 9, but I didn't stick with it. I think because my teacher wasn't great, kind of made it boring for me. Made me learn little nursery rhyme songs and things like this, and didn't want to. Yeah, because when you're a kid, you want to learn the songs that you know, that you want to be able to play the music that you're a fan of. And then a mate of mine had a drum kit, and I went around to his place one day and just messed around on the kit for the first time. I'd never tried playing the drums, and I just had so much fun, straight off the bat, and kind of took to it naturally. And then I was just like, Mum, I need to play the drums, kind of thing. Then me and a few mates started jamming, and then I got into I think it was started off with Pearl Jam and Nirvana, and then got into Metallica, and then I got into Tool, and then it just kind of got more and more of an obsession. It was just kind of through my friends. That's how I got into music.
Who would you say are your biggest musical influences?
There's so many. As it relates to this project, there's would be Tool would be a big one. Sleep, Russian Circles. I went and saw Yob a couple months ago. They were really great.
Yeah.
But then, a lot of the old school dad rock, love Pink Floyd, love Dylan, the Beatles, Zeppelin, Radiohead.
All the classics.
Yeah. Just a lot of just the good stuff, Yeah.
How about you, James?
I think Scott and I definitely align on Tool and Russian Circles, particularly when we started Matador properly. I've always loved the 3-piece. I don't know if you've seen Russian Circles live, but the noise they can make with 3 dudes is just so awesome. I think I used to play I've kind of always played in bands. I guess I used to do sort of more alt rock stuff. There's a band you may or may not be aware of, a band called Reuben.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember their first album that really when was that? 2000 2 or 3 or something, that really put me onto the like heavier side of like rock. And then like, do you know a guy called Cloud Kicker?
No name.
No?
Yeah, he's like, again, he's a solo dude who he did put a live thing together for a little bit just to play some of his tunes, but it's just a dude from, I think he's like Columbus, Ohio. He's Ben Sharp, and he just makes music by himself. He programs all the drums, and that was my inspiration to start my previous project. I was like, oh, you can do this. Playing like, you know, this kind of music as opposed to like whatever producing like drum and bass or electronic music.
Yeah.
Generally, you know, it's one person just making some beats. And I was like, oh wow, this guy does like a full band thing by himself, and it's accepted. Okay, I'm gonna try that. And he was, it's on the heavier side again, and then that just took me into like, I guess, the world of like post rock, like instrumental stuff. Like for a long time I still am super into like instrumental music. And with the Surge, the sort of solo one I did and the Surge, didn't really feel like there was a need for vocals or anything, so we just kept it instrumental, and hopefully it was interesting enough to keep people's attention. But yeah, I mean, it's hard as far as like thinking of bands that have I mean, there's so many, but they're the ones that sort of jump out right off the bat, you know.
And how would you describe Matador's music to someone who hasn't heard you before?
That's hard.
Well, actually, I've always sort of used this word like atmos doom. It's like,
Yeah, I like that term.
kind of
cool.
atmospheric, doomy. You know, hints of post rock, hints of post metal,
A
hints
little bit
of
proggy
like,
even on the new album, but a little
What's
bit
that,
stoner
sorry?
rock.
Yeah,
Like the new album's gotten a little more proggy than the other ones.
Yeah.
It's a bit more technical.
Yeah. Don't know. It's hard to like just place it in one box, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, atmospheric doominess.
So, James, you've already mentioned that Matador started off as a solo project. Was there a turning point when you realised that you couldn't do it alone anymore, or was it just through meeting other people in Canada that changed it?
I think I think really it was like I was pretty burnt out by the band I was in previously. So I kind of didn't really, you know, when you're in a relationship and a relationship ends, you don't necessarily want to jump straight back into. I needed a bit of like, headspace. So it was really just I wasn't even thinking about anything other than like, oh, I've got some ideas. I'm just gonna record them, whatever. And then I just got to the point where I was like, I need to do this with humans. It was a long old search. It took me a really long time to find Scott, but when I did, I was like, yes. This is
Was your ad up for a while? Because I remember when I got to Vancouver, I was just keen to join a band straight away. So I looked on I don't even know where I found you. You had a post somewhere. It was like Craigslist or something.
Craigslist, yeah.
And it was the perfect kind of project. It was like this post-metal instrumental vibe. But that was up for a while, was it? You were looking for a while.
Yeah. I think I guess maybe subconsciously, I don't know, the music that I made was almost like, I was like, okay, cool, I've got this thing, so I can now be like looking for a drummer to play this kind of stuff. And we actually never played any of that first EP. We jammed a couple of sections, but we got pretty much straight into writing new music together, which was much more enjoyable than, you know, playing the old stuff.
So how, with the songwriting process, are you taking the lead, James, or is it like a collaborative from the start? Now are you both sending each other ideas?
Yeah, definitely collaborative. I'd record literally a riff, fire it over to Scott. He would then do whatever he'd do over that, send it back, and that would then inspire me to change the riff. So it grew like that, you know, and it was really, it was really cool. Like, and even I think Glitter Skin was probably that was the one song that I had the most fully formed off the bat. It was the last one that was written. For whatever reason, it just kind of came out. But even then, Scott would put his drums to it, and I would then change like a load of the guitars to then fit the drums better and change sections. Yeah, just, and again, you know, it's time consuming, but we had time, so it was like, cool. That's just
Does the time zones help when it comes to that part?
That was tricky. You We had a couple of calls where we would discuss kind of direction and like what we want to do with the tunes and stuff. But for the most part, it was just email, WhatsApp, just sending recordings back and forth, and then in the chat we'd be sending ideas about arranging how to arrange the parts, or kind of what could come after this. We could do a little ambient breakdown here, or finish off, the outro could be this kind of a slower version of this riff, or just trying to talk it out in the chat. Given that we're on different time zones, it's hard to do it live kind of thing. So yeah.
So how do you know when a track's finished?
Oh, I don't know. It's like that whole thing with like the mix. It's like the mix is never finished. you do it at some point. It'll get to a point where it just starts getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can overcook it for sure.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like,
I mean, like some of the tracks we would like finish, but then come back to and then let's add a section on the end. So I don't know. It was
yeah. I guess it depends, because like the way I do the drums for these tunes, it's like I'll come up with the groove for each riff or each section, and that'll generally stay the same because it's you're just grooving through the section. But then there'll be like specific fills to transition between the sections. So I don't like doing like too generic drum parts. I kind of get board, so I want to try and have everything be kind of interesting. So like then it takes a while to kind of figure out what kind of different fills are going to work, and that's another sort of level. And then once you've been playing the song for a few weeks, you kind of start to come up with some embellishments for different bits, like subtle little tweaks and little hi-hat things, or little slight variations to the groove that you can slip in throughout a section. And I feel like once you can kind of...
Those little variations that would come back, and then, I would then tweak it to, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're bouncing off each other, really.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, but with a kind of a lag in the time that it's not like live in the room. There's a lag with the bouncing off.
Did you ever have anything from those sessions, a mistake or a weird noise that ended up becoming a centerpiece of a song?
Man, it's hard to think back. I mean, definitely some, like, when you're recording guitar, you get all sorts of weird feedbacky things, and definitely some of that like stayed or got chopped from where it was a mistake and put in another spot or something. Right. But I can't remember anything like specific, but yeah, plenty of happy accidents, absolutely.
Yeah, it was cool the way, because I'd never done drums like this before, where we're remote completely, and so like I would get the track from James once we've kind of fleshed out the arrangement, and then I would put it into Ableton, and I could just loop a section and just jam on it for half an hour and record all my ideas, and then go back and kind of find the part where it kind of, whatever I was randomly coming up with seemed to fit the best. It was like a really creative way to come up with drum parts. And you can do it with any instrument, I guess. We just loop the section, and then you just jam on that section for half an hour, and then just pick the best bit, slot it in, move on to the next section. And kind of build the track in pieces, and then learn how to play it completely when you go to do the session in the studio when you're tracking the proper drum parts. I thought it was a cool process, and definitely through that there would have been some accidents, like with fills and things, where I was just like randomly doing something, and it might have actually worked out. I was like, I would never have come up with that if I wasn't sitting here looping, jamming that section for like 15 minutes, because usually you just play through it and then just move on, kind of thing. Yeah.
And when you disagree on something, how do you usually settle it?
I just defer to
on
James.
The musical part.
Like, trust his judgment.
I don't know. I don't think we really did disagree though, right? Like, it was pretty. No. I think that's the whole thing. Like particularly when we were writing The Surge, it was three of us in a room, a really cool room as well, with a view of the mountains, which definitely helped.
Totally, that was a sweet room. Yeah, literally,
like, the whole room, the side of it was just windows, and you just see the North Shore mountains covered in snow. It's like pretty cool place to write. But just it was so organic, the whole process. It was like, again, I'd come in with like a riff, and we'd jam that riff, and then like, oh, that could go into something like this, and then we're onto that bit, and it was and there was not really, it was like, there was never disagreements. It was like, what about this? And we'd try that, and then we'd try it the other way, and we would just be like, that's the best way. Cool, move on. And I think it was always quite obvious which was the way to go, and I think that's kind of how the newest one went as well.
So which Matador song has changed the most from the first idea to the final version?
I mean, maybe because there was never any intention to put vocals on any of the tracks. So I think we did hooks. Hooks was one of the first ones that we like wrote, and we had a structure like start to finish. And that was, I think, the first one where I was like, ooh, I got some like vocal ideas, and that really changed that track, and then I guess changed the sort of direction of the
Right, cool.
the whole album.
So, beyond your instruments, is there specific roles within the band, like your artwork and your social media and your stuff like that?
I mean, I hate social media, but
You get that every
I don't know. I think like maybe because I'm like early 40s, right? So it's I don't know. If I was in my 20s, I might be like, yeah, fucking cool. I mean, it's necessary. Obviously, we need it. So I take care of that. Well, actually, no, we both take care of it. We're both logged into the thing. I guess I'm dealing with the more, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of shared, I suppose, the social media stuff. Artwork, we've been really lucky that a friend of mine is like a photojournalist, graphic designer, wears many hats, super talented dude. He did the artwork for the Above, Below and So, which is like just awesome. I love it. I was so happy with how that turned out.
It's like a composite of two of his photos. Cat cameo.
Needs some attention.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm terrible visually. I know if I look at something, I'm like, yeah, I like that, but I cannot put anything together. It just looks like a stick man. You know, that's
pretty minimal. Yeah.
so bad with like trying to create visual art. I'm like,
it's not your skill set.
That's not.
So, given the logistics of the band, how would you prepare for a live show?
Yeah, well, so at this point, it's the band had to, I guess, evolve. Like, and as I said, I think we were all happy to just let the project sort of fade, and the album we made, we were just like, cool, we've done this thing. We'll do absolutely what we can with it, but whatever. And we sent it out to a bunch of labels, and we got a few offers, and we were like, oh, okay, cool. And one was Church Road, which was like, really, really didn't expect that to be a thing, and it was kind of like, is this real? Like, I remember like Justine saying something like, yeah, cool. What have you got in mind? Just like, I mean, I don't know, what have you got in mind, kind of thing. And I think because I spoke to her before we signed anything, I was like, look, I need to be upfront and tell you that Matador as a band actually doesn't really exist right now. But the fact that, you're wanting to support this, and she was willing to support it either way, which is super cool. Like, she would have put it out even if we'd have never. But, so essentially I've put the band back together in the UK with different members, with Scott and Mark's blessing, just to, continue it on and kind of give the music what it deserves, because we spent a lot of time on it, and it's like, okay, if people are interested, then we should continue,
Yeah, because we kind of talked about like me coming over to play some shows, but like logistically I'd be out of pocket, I'd be taking time out of work, and I could only come over for 2 weeks or something and play, a couple of shows, and then that'd be it. So like ultimately for the longevity of the project, it just made sense for James to find members over there where the shows are not going to be, they're going to be spread out, and you want to be able to play over many months before you, hunker down and start writing again or whatever. So yeah, just a natural evolution of the project.
Given the records are incredibly detailed, what's the hardest part of translating the precision into the live?
Man, it has been so difficult. Well, for starters, we absolutely needed a second guitarist, and luckily a really good friend of mine who plays in a few other bands, he was like, if you ever do anything with Matador, like, I'd be keen. And I was like, all right, good to know, cool. And then whatever, 6 months passed, and it was like, so yeah, you want to do that thing?
That's awesome.
So that was really nice. We found a drummer. We were so lucky. We found a drummer pretty quickly. Really nice dude. He happened to know a guy who played bass. They played in bands previously, which always helps with the rhythm section. Like they have a thing. So it's like, okay, cool. We've got some nice people, which is super important because you've got to have good people.
Yeah.
And yeah. I mean, it's been really hard because all of the music was, written in the studio. So, and never really intended to be played live. And I remember thinking, particularly in like Glitter Skin, at certain bits of certain songs, I was like, man, if we ever have to do this live, this is gonna be tricky. Recording it, or when we were recording it, it's like, but we're getting there. We've got like, we've actually, we've got like Arctangent that's locked in, which is absolutely amazing. We've got a couple more shows which we'll be hopefully announcing soon. So we're kind of, we're about ready to like do it live. But it's been super challenging. I think like vocally for me, like I'm like a reluctant front man, 100%. Like. I would rather not do any vocals, honestly. I just enjoy playing guitar and not having to think about that side of it. So that's been challenging, particularly because, in the studio, it's a different environment. You record your voice in whatever key and it's comfortable. And then you got we're a loud band. And it's like, how am I going to do that vocal part? So, yeah, vocals challenging. Just like getting, I think a lot of the... the atmospheric elements, like having sections sort of blend into each other with like, a big reverb that overhangs the next bit. And then like I had to literally build a pedal board from scratch, like to be able to do the bit, only, and I can only do a certain amount of stuff. So the other guitarist says there's a lot on him to add the other layers. And like I'm triggering, I have like a loop pedal, but it's just loaded with samples that I can trigger for like extra atmosphere, and like the Flood's got a vocal sample in it, so that kind of needs to be triggered. Yeah, it's been a kind of a fun,
like a learning experience as well.
Yeah, for sure. But it is, of course it's fun, but it's hard work as well.
Is there a dream venue or festival you'd love to play?
Honestly, Arctangent. Like when we first were like, oh, we'll put this band together in the UK. We talked about it. The bassist George, he's been to a few of them. Me and some friends tried to go last year, but it just didn't pan out for whatever reason. And we all said like that would be that's the aim. And like literally 3 weeks later, we got an email offering us unreal.
So good.
So yeah. That's really
Another
great.
one of them things. Is this real?
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. So, tell us about the album and the plans. What you've got for it coming up?
Well, I guess. How long is it? When did we release it? Was it the end of
February?
Feb,
yeah.
Feb 6th,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. So I guess we've had the initial kind of release stuff and reviews. That's all gone really well. I guess having a little break from social media right now, just while we, put the sort of finishing bits on the live aspect. But yeah, soon it'll be essentially just getting it out there. And I think there's kind of a lot of pressure for the Arctangent thing because it's a real festival, and it's like we really want to do a good job there. But after that, maybe we'll relax a little bit and then look at, anything. We just want to play, I suppose, and then start writing some more music as the new iteration, and yeah, just just get out there and play.
Has the writing started at all for the next album yet?
Like, I got riff ideas and like a smattering of lyrics, but I think it's like my mind can only do one thing at a time. So right now, get the live thing down, and I'm sure when it's like, okay, we can do that, things will start to flow. Like I remember with the album, we'd recorded 5 tracks and mixed them actually, and we'd actually sent that version of the album out to labels, and Church Road were like, yeah, cool. And I think because it was done, Glitter Skin basically just fell out of my head, like, because I had like headspace, and we put that together so quickly. So I hope that's what will happen, because I can't sit down and go, I'm going to write a song. It does not work that way.
Yeah.
Do that, it will be rubbish. Like. So hopefully it will be, in the right time. Yeah.
We're going to move on to the fun questions now. So what was the first album or single you ever bought? You got to tell the truth as well.
I'm pretty sure the first CD I ever bought, I was maybe like 9 years old. It was like a So Fresh, like single, hottest, like all the singles of that year. And I think it was because I bought it because Backstreet's Back was on it. Like Backstreet Boys, because I was like 9 years old, right? So that's pretty cool. Still a great film clip from that one. It's very cool. It's the haunted house vibes. Yeah. Anyway,
I don't remember, man.
Yeah, you gotta check it out.
So I think for me, I don't remember the first one I went out and bought, but I remember being obsessed with. Because, like vinyl cassette, and I remember like CDs being a thing, and I just thought they were so cool, and I just desperately wanted a CD player. And I remember one Christmas, my parents got me like, I don't know, they called it like a MIDI system at the time, so it had like radio, and a CD player in it. And I don't know if you remember, there was this like a company in the UK called like Britannia or something. Yeah, like, and you could buy CDs, and you could buy like whatever 6 for however much money,
and then it'd swing you on the back part of it then, wouldn't it?
Of course, yeah, your subscription. But I remember, I got 6 CDs with that system. I think I remember what they all were, and it was what I was into at the time. So there was 2 Oasis albums, Definitely Maybe and Morning Glory, Appetite for Destruction, I Get a Little Pill. Oh, and there's 2 more. Oh, and then 2 Blur albums, The Great Escape and Parklife.
Oasis and Blur in the same Christmas. Oasis and Blur in the same Christmas.
Yeah, I mean back then I was always Oasis over Blur, but yeah, that was that and like Appetite for Destruction and Jagged Little Pill. It was a reasonable little selection, maybe.
Yeah, it's not a bad start.
Much cooler than Backstreet Boys.
I will accept.
If your gear could talk, what's the one complaint it's definitely going to make about you?
If what could talk, sorry. Gear.
Drums take a beating, don't they? Probably just take it easy. Why do you have to hit so hard? I don't know. Play softer, bit of nuance.
No, play harder, man.
Replace the skins, probably. You'd probably stand to replace the skins a little more frequently. Yeah.
I think my guitars would tell me to stop fucking around with them so much, because like the main guitar I use at the moment, literally the only original piece of that guitar is the pick guard. That is it. I've changed. The switch tip is original to the guitar. Everything else has been ripped out and redone. I've done that with a few guitars. So yeah, that, and I don't know, my stop buying so many pedals probably, but that's more my bank complaining, not the. I was
gonna say, that sounds like my wife as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like what's that's just come in the mail? Nothing.
Just a work
If
thing.
you could collab with one famous musician, past or present, who would it be?
Maybe Dave Gilmour. Pretty cool.
Good choice.
70s Dave Gilmour.
That'd be pretty cool, yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, there's loads of bands that, are sort of similar to Matador that'd be super cool to do something with, But I think I had this conversation with Josh, the other guitarist, where like, if you could be in a band, what would you? And like, because the Matador stuff, like, it's so complicated. Like, as far as actually performing it, you have to really think all the time, and play a lot of like punk rock covers like back in the day. And I was kind of like, you know what? I'd love to be just like the second guitarist for like Green Day or something. It's so easy.
Yeah.
You get to play to like arenas full of people, and you don't even have to really think about what you're doing.
Yeah,
you know?
I always wonder that, like really like
Pats.
complicated metal bands like Animals as Leaders or something. Just the standard, just trying to stay gig fit for that stuff would be so stressful.
Yeah.
If you were to take Matador on a world tour, what country would you be most excited to visit?
I feel like it'd be super fun to do like Asia, like Japan. I feel like there's a real they go pretty fucking nuts for like like a good show.
Yeah.
I've been to shows in the States and in Canada, and like I've definitely been there going, wow, this is amazing. And like it's just kind of like I'm like, I don't know, like why aren't people excited? Like
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Tokyo has a really great music scene, and there's some good doom bands from there, like Boris.
Yeah.
Boris,
They're really
yeah, I saw
cool.
those dudes. They were rad.
Mono is more like a post-rock vibe, but they're from there. Yeah, that'd be cool. For
Yeah,
sure.
you're a big fan of both of them, aren't you, Chris?
Yeah, like and Envy as well. So,
Who's that?
okay.
Sorry.
Envy as well. I do like Mono. I do like Boris.
Yeah,
But yeah, I do like Envy. We managed to finally get to see them last year at Arctangents as well, which was great.
nice, cool.
What's the most cursed piece of gear you've ever owned that you can't get rid of?
The most which piece of gear?
Cursed.
Cursed. Well, drums are acoustic, so it's usually all right for curses. I feel like it's electronics is you run into a lot more troubles. Right?
Although, Scott, do you remember that show that we did at the railway and your kick pedal just
kick pedal.
died during like a pretty important bit of the tune?
Yeah, we're like 2 songs into the set, and the kick pedal, like the actual metal part that you rest your foot on, just snapped in half. So you can't
No way.
easily fix that. So I just pulled it off the bass drum and held it in the air. I was like, does anybody have a spare kick pedal? And we managed to find one within a couple of minutes, so that was lucky.
Yeah,
that was definitely
great.
cursed. Because it was back to that thing of like, we weren't sure how long we were going to be in Canada, so I didn't buy top end gear. So I bought this rubbish kick pedal, and it broke on the one gig we played. It didn't break on all the rehearsals that we had, which was every other week. It's the one time we play a gig for 45 minutes. It didn't last the set.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, I think I've been like I've rebuilt this pedal board and I've made sure it's, I guess, like just pedal board in general. I used to have so many problems, like on stage it cuts out and you're like,
Which one is it?
exactly, like, and it's like just rubbish cables and I've just thrown it together. But I've been really like meticulous with this board, and it's like, I shouldn't be saying this because it's going to go wrong, but so far it's all right.
Right, so we'll move on to the quick fire questions now. Vinyl or streaming?
Say that again. sorry.
Vinyl or streaming?
Oh, vinyl, surely. Yeah.
Finally, yeah.
Tarantino or Scorsese?
It's really hard. I might go
I'm gonna say-
Tarantino, actually.
Yeah, I gotta say Tarantino because just growing up with those like movies,
Yeah.
Dusk Till Dawn and like Pulp Fiction, they're like a part of me.
Yeah.
Doom or post metal?
We mix them together.
I'm gonna go. That's hard. I'm gonna go post metal.
I'm gonna go Doom to balance it out.
Nice.
Whiskey or rum?
Whiskey.
Aaron Turner or Johannes Persson?
Say again.
Aaron Turner or Johannes Persson?
Aaron Turner, every day of the week.
I'm embarrassed to say I don't know those guys. Is that fast?
Big festivals or intimate gigs?
I get intimate gig is a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure a big festival's great, but
But I think even as if you're in the crowd, like an intimate gig, it's like gives you the feels a bit more.
especially if it's a good one. If it's a good, you feel like you're seeing something special. Like there's only a few people there, and it's like magic. Yeah.
Always Sunny or Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Always.
Oh,
sunny.
that's tough. Yeah, probably Always Sunny.
And for our final question, a meat feast pizza with a marshmallow crust or a garlic bread with Nutella drizzle?
I'll go the meat feast.
with the marshmallow crust.
Yeah, sure. Bring it on.
Eat it all.
Dessert built in.
I'm going to take the garlic bread.
Thanks for coming on, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Looking forward to
thank
seeing
you
the
for
Arc
having us.
Tangents as well.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, looking forward to being there. Thank you so much for having us today as well. I know it took a little while to get it together, but much appreciated.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.
Right.
Thanks, guys.